Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is explaining my beginning of month and of month process. So a lot of this I do off camera because it's tedious and you know, it takes me a while to kind of go through every transaction and everything, but I get a lot of questions about this part, about how do you kind of reconcile, because I have so many sinking funds and cash envelopes, and it does become confusing when I'm pulling money out and putting money back in and things like that. So I'm going to walk you through my beginning of month process as well as how I close out the month, and then to talk a little bit about what my budget's going to look like in the month of June. So I am going to try a completely cashless, no cash stuffing of envelopes, just tracking transaction for the month of June. And I'm going to do it for a couple reasons. One, I have a really busy June planned. So going to the bank and putting money in and taking money out is just not what I want to spend the few days off that I'm going to have. And second of all, I've kind of been doing this way for April and May for sure. And I have accumulated so many points on my Capital One credit card that I was able to buy a lot of things in the month of May that I wanted to do but didn't really want to spend the money on. My household budget has become very slim, so my sinking fund money has to come out of my incremental income, which is fine. You know, that's kind of what it's there for. But I was finding that I didn't want to spend every dime of my incremental income on things that I wanted to get. I was trying to rein it in a little bit. So I'm going to just do cashless this month, see how it goes. The only exception might be my spending. I always like to have a little bit of cash in my wallet. I don't like to use a credit card for a couple dollar things. So, and I would definitely have singles in my wallet because I always want to tip and I can't if I don't have any cash. So that is kind of the overall plan. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I even start this though, I do want to explain that I spend my paycheck, every single dollar, before the month begins. So by the time that check hits our bank account on the last day of the month, because we get paid monthly, both my husband and I, it's already spent in my mind. I have a check register, I write it all out. Every single dollar is spent before it ever hits my account. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One, so that I don't feel like, oh, I have all this money, I can go do this or go do that, when I realize later that I can't. And second is that it is purposeful. So every dollar has a place, has a job to do. Every money is intentionally spent. So just kind of want to explain that if you're newer to my channel. So the first thing I do before I can even sit down to do my June budget is to go through my May sinking fund and reconcile my May budget. So I just posted yesterday or the day before my week 4 check-in for May. For my budget personally, it's kind of a 4.5 week budget. I said it was a 5 week and that's how I budgeted because of the way our paychecks fell. So I've kind of already reconciled my envelopes, but then sinking funds was a whole nother project. So what I do is I look at my beginning balance, and this was my April ending balance. And then what I added is my plus column. My plus column is money that I stuff from my incremental income, but I haven't even dealt with my incremental income yet because I just got my final paycheck on Thursday of last week. And quite frankly, I pretty much spent it all before I even had it. So a few things I need to do. I need to move $230 into savings, $230 into my tax account, and pretty much everything else I have used. I did mid-month payment, so after a couple of weeks, I paid off everything that had gone on my Capital One that was going to be billed to my incremental. And then this is my column, which is used. So this is money that I used out of my sinking fund. I have moved that money off of, out of the savings account and onto the Capital One card to pay that off. So I just sat down and cleared off my card this morning, and I gotta tell you, there's a little bit more on there than I had thought, even though I made a mid-month payment. And then I came up with my ending balance. So it's the process basically is I open up this binder, I look at arts and crafts, and I noticed in my last video I forgot to remove $95 from this. So I caught it after, of course, I'm done filming, and I use these registers from my shop, and I literally just wrote $95 because that's what I had used, and my balance is 107. So then I just open this up and check, is that correct? And so I've already done this process, but there is 107 in here. So I have 3 binders plus this one, which are my everyday wallet, kind of my everyday envelopes. So I did that, and then I always go back and put it nice and neatly onto an Excel spreadsheet. This is a file that I have. It's Excel. If you want it, you can have it. I can either send you the digital file, or I can send you the paper one if you place an order at prettyproductive.com on Etsy. So this is just the same information as handwritten, but I moved it over, and then my ending balance becomes my June beginning balance. And I need to do this first because I need to see what sinking funds do I need to add to if there's something due in the month of June. And then I have my every month ones like Christmas and savings that I do. I do those first so that I can make sure that they are ready for when I'm ready to use those. Now I do have one thing that I kind of not sure where I'm going to take it from. I think it's going to be household, but we have LegalZoom, which is where we did our trust and will and all that stuff. And my year is up June 1st, so I'm going to go ahead and renew it for one more year because I just want to have them take a look at one more thing. And then that's $199. And then after that, it's just, I think at that point I'll update it throughout the year, and then I will be able to not keep that subscription going, even though I'll still have access to all my forms. So let's go. So unfortunately my paychecks did not change. So one paycheck is $48.50, the other one is $48.50. My one daughter, we took her off our insurance. She has her own insurance. So she just now pays me $60 for her phone bill. The other one is $200. My incremental income, I think, and I just pulled up my schedule, is, let's see, I'm going to say $1,900. Now I do not budget my incremental income because if, like last week, I got sick so that I missed a day of work. Things get canceled. I was supposed to work on Tuesday, that got canceled. So I don't ever count on that. What I use that incremental income for is to either put into sinking funds, add to vacation, things like that. I always save 10% though. So that is why I'm adding money in to my savings account for the month of May. So my income does look a little bit differently, but some of my bills really changed this, not for the better. So my income, it should be $9,960. And then I drop down here to my budget breakdown box and I move that income down. My mortgage is still $3,100. My cell phone, it's gone down a couple dollars, it's $300. Gym, $52. Internet, $120. I am picking up Hulu this month, $15. Netflix is $16. Life insurance is $106. Auto insurance went down to $451 from $629, I think it was last month, because we did take the one car off and dropped a driver. So it actually, even though my daughter paid $120, we're saving like $170. So HBO is still $6. Superstar Car Wash, I have my car back now, so it's I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And cable is cable/streaming is $100. Electricity, I am trending on my estimated to be at 300. So I normally budget 250. Anything under that, go above that. So if I do 250 and it's 200, then $50 goes into my electricity sinking fund. That helps me for June through like September on my bill. I do live in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, this is the one that was painful. Our water bill went to $225. So it was at $169 last month. It normally runs about $100, $110. We do have another leak in our sprinkler system that my husband has found, but I just, no. Natural gas bill, I'm gonna put 50. It's been running about 40. Pest control will be 30 and HOA will be 75. So HOA will be due again in the month of July. Elements is 80. Audible, I'm off of my pause that I put on. I did start Sterling Ink subscription. That's 35 and Planner Spot 26. Okay, and this is a 4-week month for me. So on my variable expenses, that is $680. So they're variable because they change based on what quarter of the year it is, whether it's due or not, or if I'm just putting away a little bit for it, and sometimes time of year. And then my fixed expenses is $3,100, $300, $52, $120, $15, $16, $106, $451, $6 plus $25 plus $100. And then I put my subscriptions in there too. 80 plus 16 plus 35 plus 26. So that's 4,448. Then my lifestyle is where I've got a little bit of wiggle room. I have money left over in my envelopes and I'm going to use it. Groceries I'm not going to because I'm still probably going to use a little bit of this, and then what's ever left will go into my savings challenge. Eating out is the same. Household is a sinking fund. Cleaning hasn't happened. Entertainment will I think I'm gonna let entertainment roll over at 20, 40, 50, 60, 75. I think I'm gonna let that roll over and not add to it. Close this thinking funny. My mom, because her place is in lockdown, I have not spent a lot of money. So 50, 20, 90, 115. So I'm not going to fund that. I'll let that roll over. So normally what I do in these envelopes is whatever is left goes into my 50, well, it's a 100 envelope challenge. I'm trying to do it in 52 weeks, but I'm not going quickly. So I normally would put that into that challenge, but because money is so tight this month, I am just going to go ahead and let those roll over and redistribute that money. Medicine is another example of this. 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, 80, 195, yeah. Definitely don't need to add to that. Personal care, I am now doing the dip on my nails, so that's 45 every 3 weeks. I don't need to get my hair done, and I may or may not get a pedicure and a massage, so I think I'm just gonna add 50 to this. So instead of the 200 that I added last time. And then miscellaneous, I have the full $100 that I had last time. You know, for this month I haven't spent any of this, so I'm not going to fund it this time. So on my trackers, I'll just roll this amount over so I don't mess myself up when I start to use it. And then I do have some money in my back to bank that I may go ahead and either take back or just use the cash. So for giving is 400. Groceries is going to be 600. I have not figured out HelloFresh yet for this month. Eating out will be 200. Clothing gets 100.
spending gets 200, household gets 100, gas for car, I'm going to take it to 3. That's about where it's going to run, I think. Okay, so 400 plus 600 plus 200, 100, 200, 150, 300. So 1950. So lifestyle at 1950. I save 10% of my income, so it's $9,700. I wish $9,970. Again, I'm not doing anything with incremental until the end of June. So 9,960 is my income, minus my fixed expenses of 4,448, minus my variable expenses of 680, minus my lifestyle of 1,950, minus my savings of 970. That gives me 1,912 to put into sinking funds. So I think what I'll do at the end of June is that when I reconcile June is try to take the money that I should have rolled over into my savings challenge and just go ahead and put that in. So I think I will have grocery money that I can put into the savings challenge, which would be great. And then maybe I'll take a part of my incremental income and put that into savings challenge as well, because I really do want to complete that savings challenge. So the 100 envelope challenge, if you're not familiar with it, it's 1 through 100. You put that amount of money in that envelope. For me personally, it's a tab. And at the end of this savings challenge, you have $5,050. So it's, you know, for me personally, I don't fund the savings challenge, but I try to keep money in my envelope so that I can use that money for the savings challenge. So that's kind of how I work it. So Christmas always gets 400, and I just take the amount that I'm going to spend. I divide it by 10 because I want it fully funded by the beginning of November. Birthdays is going to get 200. July, August, September are very big birthday months for us. And then of course, October is my one daughter. So that's kind of a bigger month too. I'm going to go ahead and write in the legal Zoom that I spoke about. That's going to be 200. And then let me take out my ending one. So on this particular sheet, I have the goal and then the balance for that sinking fund. So I kind of already see where I need to add. So for arts and crafts, so arts and crafts is craft night that I do with my sisters. It's craft projects, it's stickers, all of that now is going into one. I'm going to post a stationery haul that I did, and you're going to see where some of that money went from last month. Okay, my battery's flashing at me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. You can see. Okay, so arts and crafts, I'm going to put 200. There is a Coffee Monster Co. pre-sale for washi this month, in the month of June, for her, I think it's her anniversary sale. So I'm going to add that in because I already know I'm probably going to buy some of the pre-sale washi. Let's just budget for it. And then on, let's see, what else do I need to fund this month? I'm going to do dental because I'm really trying to build this up for 200. I am going to, oh, so I have really done some damage in our gifts. So gifts are wedding gifts, birthday gifts for non-family members, you know, like friends. And so I sent a baby gift and did a birthday gift out of that. So I kind of, I like to have 600 in this account, and right now there's only 391, so I'll do 200 and that will get it almost back to that 600. I don't need to fund I might put more in household, but let's see what else we need. So pest control, those are all done. Planner. September is when the Hobonichi Cousin launches, so I want to have enough money in there and whatever else I'm going to get for next year. Self-care, I'm going to re-add to that. Add 100, and for beauty, major damage. I'll put 100. And then Target, I did spend part of that gift card, so I'll put another 50 back in there. Vacation, I am going on vacation in July, so I'll leave that blank and I'll see what the excess is. And then vitamins, I replenished some last month, but now I'm down to 145, so I'm going to put 50 in there. Okay, so let's see where we're at. I had 1,912 to play with, minus 400 for Christmas, minus 200 for birthdays, minus 200 for LegalZoom, minus 200 for arts and crafts, minus 200 for dental, minus 200 for gifts, minus 100 for planner, minus 100 for self-care, minus 100 for beauty, minus 50 for Target, minus 50 for vitamins. So that gives me 112 for vacation. Okay, that's how fast it goes. I knew about LegalZoom. I was gonna take it out of my household account, like, you know, where I have like house rental money. I thought, well, that's stupid because that's really not house rental, and we are kind of working on different projects right now, so I wanted to leave that money. But by rolling this money over, that saves, let's see, 100, 200, 300, $350 that I can bring down here to sinking funds. So I normally don't like to do that. I like to put it into savings challenge, but at the end of the day, it's more important right now that this budget works for me than that I'm getting to add to my savings challenge. And I do have my incremental income that I have not even started to think about. So I will take a look at that, see how that is going to flow in by week, and then maybe that's what I use for my savings challenge, or maybe I put a priority list for my sinking funds, and that's what I did last month. I just put a note in my budget book that said, if I have extra money, this is where I want to put it. I did buy a lot of stationery supplies. I'm starting to do traveler's journals, things like that, and I've been having so much fun, and I used the points from Capital One first, so not that much money came out of my incremental income for that, but it does add up quickly. So, and you know, if you've followed me along before, you know I love stationery. So that is going to be my June budget. I'll go ahead and set up my budget binder. I'm still going to either do the weekly check-in or bi-weekly check-in to the budget. I will probably put a little notebook in my wallet or my purse, and that will be where I write all my transactions down. I'm still going to scan my receipts into Fetch and account for them on my monthly view of my budget binder. You're just not going to see the cash go in and out. So I hope that that's okay. If you only like to watch cash stuffing, let me know down in the comments below. If you don't really care, you're just more looking for budgeting tips and techniques, please let me know that as well. So thank you so much. I hope you are all prepared for June and ready to rock and roll, because it's going to be here in a few days. So have a great Memorial Day weekend if you're in the States, and I'll see you in my next video.
Life is a winding road.